What is going on, YouTube? Long time no see. I apologize for not having a video out in some time here. Just kind of getting caught up with life and whatnot. So I wanted to give an update though. We're at just almost 3,000 miles on the Mach GT. For those of you that have been following along, you know it's been quite a ride so far. What I wanted to do is just kind of give a 3,000 mile update here. Probably break it into 2 or 3 videos. I think today what I'm going to do is the good, and then we'll follow up in a few days with the not so good, and then sort of, you know, maybe my overall thoughts. So I guess let's talk about the good. What's been good for this last 3,000 miles? Well, you know, for starters, the vehicle is a blast to drive. It really is. I'm in Minnesota. We've got, it's, you know what, mid-March here. Actually towards the end of March now. We just got crummy weather today, so I'm sorry about the sleet that's now hitting the windshield. I hope that's not too loud for you guys. But you know, even in the crummy weather, the vehicle, it's just a pleasure to drive. It's got decent ground clearance. I've covered the ground clearance in other videos. All-wheel drive in this is working great. You can really feel that low center of gravity when you're driving this thing, even in the winter. It's got very good traction. I've got good all-season tires that, you know, just come on it stock. So I've been real happy with that. I've gotten better at sort of planning ahead on some trips and being able to find out like where chargers are, you know, and planning ahead for mileage. What I've found that the guessometer, people have all kinds of names for that, but it's basically what's the range on this, what's the mileage. It varies so widely. Yeah, I can tell you from my experiences in the wintertime, on average, with a full charge, I'm talking 100% full charge, I'm getting somewhere in the neighborhood of probably about 180 to 190 miles on a charge. Now again, it varies so widely because if I'm in the negative degrees Fahrenheit, you know, below zero or something like that, the range is absolutely affected, and anybody who's driving an EV knows that. So I don't think it's fair to like necessarily whine about that too much. Do I wish and do I hope that Ford's electronics get a little bit better? And as far as their estimation goes, yeah, I do. But you know what, for planning, I know if I gotta go somewhere, and I know my range, I really don't look at that guessometer too much. And I know that that's going to improve once the temperature warms up. So that's been going well. You know, I've been fine with that. The range estimates have been decent. Like I said, the vehicle is still a blast to drive. It really is. The acceleration is just phenomenal. If you've never driven an EV before, and especially you're getting into a Mach-E, and if you've got the GT like I've got, it's just incredible what these vehicles are capable of as far as acceleration. When it's not sleeting and snowing out and just sort of crummy weather and the roads are dry, it still amazes me at how quiet this vehicle is. It's true that you do get a slight whine noise when you're accelerating at times, and even decelerating, especially if you're using that one pedal drive. I don't find it annoying, I find it kind of neat. I just sort of like that sound. But it brings a whole new, I guess, equation to what quiet is when you're driving. So I really appreciated that. The electronics, the stereo system's good. I've covered the stereo, so don't need to talk about it too much. Do I think that B&O and Ford piped it a little bit more than needed? Probably. But it still is one of the best, I guess, factory stereos that I've heard inside of a vehicle. It's certainly one that I've owned, and that's with Bose, JBL, and some others. So that's been okay. You know, as far as comfort goes, we're able to get our family of 4 in here, and if we're just going on a you know, an overnight trip somewhere, we don't need to necessarily load the vehicle up. It's fine. We can get our stuff in here. It's not a big deal. You know, is it the size of like our Highlander? Of course not. And if you're needing an SUV that's really large and not kind of a crossover like this is, you might need to consider that. But you know, as far as space goes, this is working. It's been fine for us. My wife would say it's a little small, and you know, but for getting around and just for the pleasure of driving this thing and still being able to get the family in it, it's been fine for us. Still getting a lot of looks at stop signs and people asking, what is that? You know, I don't see any badging on it. What is it? So that's been fun. You get to kind of talk about, you know, what Ford's done with this. And I really haven't gotten any arguments with Mustang purists. I appreciate their standpoint as far as, you know, how could Ford label this a Mustang? Again, that's an argument for another day. But you know, the goods that I've had with this, I think it's been pretty good. At least as of late, I haven't been dealing with those below zero temperatures that much, at least as of late, and so haven't really had any of the heating issues and whatnot. I'll cover that in the, I guess, sort of gripes video, which is maybe coming up next here. So stay tuned for that. But if you got a Mach-E, let me know what you think. Are you at, you know, 3,000 miles? Are you on the same page as me? Do you have any tips or tricks as far as what you're doing, or what's worked for you, what's not worked for you? Certainly let me know. You know, hey, I'm still in this to learn just like the rest of you, but I just wanted to give a quick update. If you guys have questions, make sure you ask them. You know, in the video, my previous videos, I do what I can to respond to every question. I look at every comment. So certainly though, if you're thinking about getting one of these, you know, I think it's been a great vehicle. I'd encourage you though to go test drive it at the dealership. Make sure size-wise it's gonna work for you. But like I said, I've been happy with it overall. More satisfied than not, at least today. I'll cover some of the other stuff in the next video, but just wanted to give you guys a quick update, check in with y'all. Hope you're doing well. We'll see you on the next video. Take care.